Hello.
Hi.
It's so nice to see you. I'm all by myself in my room, so I don't have to wear a mask. But how about you tell me who you are?
Okay. Hi. I am Rich
Hi.
Dana. I'm Stuco President. Hi, I'm Stephen Cook, and I'm Vice President.
Can you talk a little bit louder, honey, and
Yeah.
toward the mic?
Yeah. Just lean forward. Is this better?
Yes, much better. Stay like that because it's hard to hear. And you're in a big place there with a lot of space.
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, I hear you're going to ask me some questions.
Yeah.
I'm Sister Marie Therese. Have you seen me around? Not this year. Not this year. We've been quarantined over here, and I haven't been able, I've only been 3 times over to Viz. But I was there on Friday for the Archbishop's Mass, and I got to have a visit with the Archbishop afterwards with a mask and distanced. So let's go. You can ask me any of those questions and I'll try to answer.
Okay. So, would you be willing to share how you were called to a religious life?
Yes, I can try and I'll try to do it in a short fashion. Um, I went to school, grade school, at St. Gabriel's Parish here in St. Louis Hills. And I went to all through grade school there, and we had sisters there who are the school sisters of Notre Dame, and they have an academy like Visitation down on Ripa Avenue. It's called Notre Dame Academy, their high school. But anyway, they're a very large order of sisters, and the ones that I had in grade school were just wonderful. They were such good teachers, and they took such an interest in each one of us in the school. And they saw what our talents were, and they tried to develop those talents. And like I love speech and drama and English and writing and those kinds of things. And they really helped me a lot with that. Well, when I got to time for high school, I came to Visitation Academy. And there again, I found wonderful sisters. And I know of the sisters at St. Gabriel's, my dad used to say, what wonderful women they were. And so I had a pretty good idea that sisters were very nice persons. So I came to Viz, and Viz was a much smaller, environment than a big grade school in St. Louis. And these sisters were just like those in the sense that they were just so committed to being good teachers. And we didn't, in those days, we had lots of sisters. And so there were very few lay teachers. Now it's the exact opposite. And so I had all sisters except for Jim, phys ed, we had a lay teacher. And for drama, we had a lay teacher, but everybody else was a sister. And visitation sister. And I think what happened, I don't know, are you fifth graders?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I don't know how much you have heard. It was certainly in the Archbishop's Mass um, that visitation has a special charism. And a charism is a gift of God. Every religious community has one. The Jesuits do, the Sisters of St. Joseph do. We all have a special little nuance of the life of Jesus. Some people stress one thing, some people stress the other, but it's all something to do with Jesus. And so when I got to visitation, I just fell in love with the charism that the sisters had. They were so friendly, and they were both gentle and firm. They were very kind. They were very smart. They were lots of fun. We had them for all our extracurricular activities. And I just looked around and I thought, maybe I'd like to be a sister because I think that they have a very happy life. And so I was in, I started praying in about the 8th grade. I thought, my sisters are nice. It might be nice to be a sister. And so I started praying then and about it, just like that. And in high school, I just, you know how you go to mass or read the Bible or something, and a little phrase from the scriptures, from either the first or the second reading, will sort of impress you. Well, I, the two scripture things that I loved that just came to me and helped to form my decision to be a sister was in the Old Testament, um, the prophet Jeremiah, if you've ever read anything by him, he has a beautiful quotation which says, and this is for everyone, every creature that God created, but I could hear it addressed to me in my heart. And it was, I have loved you with an everlasting love. So I have drawn you. And the other quotation was from St. Paul, usually in the second reading. And that struck me too, because it said, I have known and believed in the love God has for us. And what I experienced at visitation was just a lot of love, a lot of gentle, firm, kind love from the sisters. And so I thought, you know what? If God loves me so much, I want to love him. I want to love him with my whole heart, my whole soul, my whole mind, my whole strength. And maybe I could do that best as a sister. And so I decided to, at the end of high school, I don't know whether you know her either, but another sister who is, we've been around visitation for a long time, but you haven't seen us because of the quarantines and everything, is Sister Margaret Mary. And Sister Margaret Mary and I were both high school students together, and we entered the Visitation Convent after we graduated from high school. And so we became sisters, and the archives have lots and lots of pictures of us in the various stages of our becoming a sister. Because you have various, you're a postulant, which means you're asking to be a sister, and you're a novice, which means you're learning how to be a sister. And then there's a period of 3 years where you commit yourself for 3 years to being a sister. And then finally, after 5 years, you make your final commitment and vows to be a sister. So Sister Margaret Mary and I did that together. And so we have been connected with Visitation Academy ever since we graduated from high school. And when we entered the convent, we went to, as sisters, young sisters, we went to college and we got our master's degrees. And Sister Margaret Mary and I both got 2 master's degrees as well as our undergraduate master's degree. And I just had a very happy life over 55 years of teaching girls like you, whom I love, um, both uh, theology, religion, especially scriptures, and also English, reading, literature, writing. And so I guess I would have been happy. I know I would have been happy if I had gotten married. I had boyfriends when I was a junior and senior in high school, and probably would have been happy. But I have been very happy being belonging. Uh, just a minute, the announcement is coming over the loudspeaker here. But I have been very happy as a sister. And I guess it's just because I knew I had the opportunity to know how much God and Jesus loved me. And so my whole ambition was to be like my patron saint, Saint Therese of Lisieux. I'm Sister Marie Therese. And her whole saying was, I would love Jesus as he's never yet been loved. So she was a lover too. So she's my special patron. And so I tried all those years to be a very good teacher and to spread the love of Jesus with all the wonderful girls that were my students all those years. How's that?
What advice would you give to a young woman on how to live Jesus?
I guess the best advice would be, you can't live Jesus unless you know Jesus some way. And we get to know Jesus by having a little time each day to pray with Jesus, to be not just to say prayers, which is fine, to say the Our Father and the Hail Mary, but maybe to take a few minutes whenever in the morning or at night, or if you have a little free time in the day, to just go into the chapel and to just sit there, kneel there and sit there and say, Jesus, here I am. I know you love me. I just want to be with you. What do you want to say to me? I'm listening. And just to spend a little I used to do that when I was in grade school at St. Gabriel's. I would go to the chapel and I would just sit there and say, I love you, Jesus. What do you want to say to me? Well, he didn't usually speak in human words, but he made me feel that he loved me and that it was good to be in relationship with Jesus. And so my first thing on how to live Jesus is to get to know him by setting aside a little time in your morning prayers or at night before you go to bed or sometime in the day. And then the second way you live Jesus is to love as Jesus loved. And I think you can make that practical by being kind. There's a saying that says, we never know what the other person is going through in her day. When you come to school in the morning, you never know if some very sad thing has happened in a classmate's life. And maybe she's a little bit testy or grumpy that day. And you don't know that maybe, well, everything. Her dog died, her grandmother died, her father and mother are having difficulties being happy together. And all of that is affecting her. So, although somebody may feel that's a call, I'm just not taking it from Minneapolis. Don't know who that is. Um, that, just to try not to be snarky or snippy or catty, to try to be Jesus just by being kind and understanding and loving when you'd much rather be, oh, well, right, I'm snippy, kind rather than snippy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
The last question.
The last question.
This is the last question.
What is your fondest memory as a sister?
Well, I've been a sister a very long time. Uh, you're not going to believe this because I'm probably older than your grandma. And however, I have a very young heart and I can do most anything uh, within boundaries. I can't climb mountains anymore. Um, but I think my fondest memory was the day that I celebrated, and you can hardly conceive of this time, 50 years as a sister. They call it a golden jubilee. And we had this great big festive party. And although my mom and dad had already died and gone to God by that time, I knew they were with me. And I had all my favorite priest friends and sister friends and loads of girls I had taught all through those years. And sometimes I taught a girl and then I would teach her daughter too in the next generation. So, and I had all my family because I'm the oldest of 14 cousins. And we just had a great big party in DeShanto Hall. And everybody told me that they loved me, like as you do for an anniversary party. And so I guess that's one of my fondest memories.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been very informative.
Thank you for your time.
It has been a pleasure. I'm very happy to meet you. And I hope you can use this with all the grade school.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.